Hey everyone! Today I'm going to show you how to make laddi pav at home. And the best part about this recipe is that this pav is made out of 100% whole wheat flour, absolutely zero maida. So let's get started. To start with, I have taken 1 tablespoon of instant dry active yeast, to which I have added 1 tablespoon of brown sugar. Now to activate the yeast, I am adding 200 ml of lukewarm water. Yeast gets activated when it is exposed to moist and warm conditions. The water cannot be too hot or too cold. That way, yeast will not get activated. While the yeast is sitting and getting activated, here in a big bowl I add 400 grams of whole wheat flour. Here, with the help of a spoon, I make a hollow in the center of the heap of flour, to which I'll be adding 1 teaspoon of table salt and 3 dollops of desi ghee. Traditionally, in any bread recipe, you will find that for the fat, they use butter. But I have opted using desi ghee because I find that it is a much more healthier option. Now to this, I will be adding 3 tablespoonfuls of Nestle milk powder. Now to all of the dry ingredients that we have added, I'll be adding the yeast that was sitting and getting fermented for the last 10 minutes. Just look at how fluffy and frothy it has become. Now let's mix the yeast with the flour. Once the yeast is mixed with the flour, here I'll be taking about 50 ml of cold milk and adding it to the dough. Now we will be making a soft and sticky dough. Just take a look at the texture. It's all very sticky at this stage. Here I dust some dry flour on the bench and transfer the dough from the bowl onto the bench. Here comes the most important part of the pav making process, that is the kneading process. To knead the dough, here I use a technique where I smear the dough onto the table and bring it back together. I apply pressure using the ball of my palm to knead the dough here. This back and forth movement of my hand, cutting and kneading the dough back together, is the one process which helps in activating the gluten within the flour. We need to focus on this technique for at least 10 to 15 minutes to help activate the gluten to its optimum condition. The next technique I use here is gathering the flour and then dropping it hard on the table. This is another way of making the gluten strands active. After about 15 minutes of thoroughly kneading, I gather all of the dough together to make a smooth ball. Here I have greased my palms with a little bit of oil to give it a smoother finish. Now all that we are left to do is to allow this dough to rest for the next 1 hour. While the dough is resting away for an hour, I take a cake tin and grease its walls and the bottom with oil. After an hour of resting, let us check out how the dough has turned out. After resting, the dough has doubled in its size. Now let us carefully pick up the dough while loosening up its sides. Here I take the dough and I place it on the bench. Here I am working on the dough to help it elongate in its size. Our goal is to make it into portions and work on each of the portion to make a ball. I have taken a cutter and now I'll be cutting out equal portions of this dough. With the measurements that we have used for this recipe, we will end up having about 10 equal portions. The next step is to take each portion, apply a little pressure from the top and roll them out into smooth little ball. We shall repeat the process until all the portions have covered to become of the same shape and size. Once all the balls have been shaped, now we will take them and transfer them to the greased cake tin. Once done, take a kitchen towel and cover the pav that we just rolled out. Now it is time for us to preheat the oven at 180 to 200 degrees centigrade for 10 minutes. In the meanwhile, I take some cold milk and brush the pav that we had just rolled out from the top. This process is called as giving milk wash to the pav. Okay, now the oven has heated up. I have taken the cake tins and placed them in the oven. Now we will be baking them for 30 minutes at 180 degrees centigrade to 200 degrees depending upon the temperature of your oven. Once done, you can take out the cake tins after the oven has cooled down to the room temperature. Now let us check how the pav has turned out. The pav on the right has turned out to be soft and fluffy. The pav on the left has also turned out to be soft and fluffy, only the color has developed a little more than usual. This has happened because I have placed the cake tin too close to the top rods of the oven. Now let us test the pav to see whether the texture is right. Here I am tearing the pav apart from the laddi. When I press the pav, it bounces back to its original shape. So this is how a pav is supposed to be when the texture comes into play. It has come out perfect. Now that you have learned how to make pav, do try this recipe at your home kitchen and let me know how you like it. Until then, like, share and subscribe Veggie Life. Bye!